Greetings, Commissioner. We have come to you with irrefutable evidence that the suspect, Ana Garcia, was killed by Eric Piedmont. We'll begin with our first set of evidence.
To the conclusion that Eric Piedmont was involved in the act of killing Ana Garcia through brute force. The statements conveyed from the polygraph by the persons of interest are our first data points. Eric's heart rate and respiratory rate was stable, but it went up when he was asked the relevant questions. The changes that we witnessed from Eric's polygraph test show that Eric was definitely involved.
The hair sample at the scene was similar to Eric's. The hair sample from the scene had darker brown on the outside of the hair and it also had a lighter brown color in the middle. This matches Eric's hair color. Even though some suspects had the same hair color, the patterns and shape were different.
There were two different fingerprint samples, one on the glassware and one on the letter. The fingerprint on the glassware was Anna's, and the one on the letter was Eric's. Anna's fingerprint pattern showed a whorl, and nobody else had a whorl pattern, which makes the fingerprint on the glassware Anna's. Even though a few suspects had the loop pattern, Eric's finger shape was the most similar to the one found on the letter.
The digital evidence shows that Eric and Anna were together about 2 days before her death. A day before her death, Eric got into a fight with Anna when they had their lunch date. The next morning, Eric tried to apologize by text, but she didn't respond. The time of the text ranged from 6 a.m. to 9:05 a.m. Anna was found dead at 10 a.m.
In the presumptive blood test, testing shows that the blood found on the table was not real blood, but rather a stain from unknown origins. As it was not real blood, we did not dive deeper into this matter. The blood found on the floor was indeed real and was registered as positive in our Kastle-Meyer test.
Blood typing results from the Kastle-Meyer test indicate that blood types A, AB, B, and O were the suspects' blood types, and only A was found at the crime scene, leading the most likely suspects to be Sam Green, Eric Piedmont, and herself because she was already there. During the blood splatter test, it was found that the blood was in a blood splatter, blood falling droplet pattern, which means that it could only have happened at a 90-degree angle. DNA gathered through gel electrophoresis shows that the DNA is similar to both Anna and Eric's.
Moving on to the autopsy report, there are several key evidence gathered from Ana Garcia's corpse that helps solidify Anna's cause of death as a homicide and nothing else. Ana Garcia's body was present with a following injury of a bruise on her forehead with a depth of 0.25 inch, a width of 0.5 inch, and 1 inch in length. An injury of this magnitude could have been an indicator that Ana Garcia suffered from a traumatic brain injury and that this injury on her forehead was just an external wound. Moving on to the toxicology evaluation results, Ana Garcia's body, there was a concentration of 20 milliliters per liter of aspirin found in her bloodstream. This ruled out Anna's death by substance overdose as she was well within the safe ingestion limit for aspirin. Comparison of Ana Garcia's brain tissue between a known tissue sample of a patient who had traumatic brain injury yielded similarities. This showed that there was likely a conflict that ensued between Anna and another individual, most likely Eric Piedmont, as most of the evidence pointed toward him being present on site before or during the incident.
To conclude this presentation, Eric Piedmont is our most likely suspect for the possible murder of Ana Garcia.